at Lafitte's Hotel on Bourbon Street, across from Lafitte's blacksmith shop, right between where Mortal Machine Gallery is and our regular studio.
And well, we don't want to let them know where you live.
Well, I don't mind.
I'll
tell them where I live.
Okay.
I'll tell them my social
Bring
security
on the
while we're at.
stalkers.
My safe word, my password. I'll tell you everything. We're building something special here with the audience. Welcome to Two Drink Minimum. That's Gabe Schaefer. I'm Chris True. And we're chilling on a Sunday afternoon.
Oof.
You got the jacket, I got the sweater on. It
Yes.
do be like that sometimes.
Winter is coming. Yeah, supposedly for like 24 hours, we're gonna have our equivalent of the winter here.
Well, I hung out with my parents last week, which means like 2 days ago, which means I know what the weather is doing in the entire country for the next 4 to 5 days.
My mom is always like, well, it's raining outside now. Is it raining where you are right now? And I'm like, Mom, you're in North Carolina.
Yeah, my dad will be like, well, you know what's going on with the weather? And I'm like, yeah, I think it's raining tomorrow. He's like, well, no, up in Minnesota right now, they're getting like ice storms. And I'm like, I'm not there.
Wow.
But shout out to you, pops.
Yeah.
No, parents at a certain point, and I'm not roasting them. I love my parents. My parents are
I'm
great.
gonna roast my mom.
Go ahead, but at some point, parents just are like, I care about the weather everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're very concerned parents.
But we actually should be checking the weather for South Florida.
I have not yet.
Because in about a month, in less than a month.
Way less than a month, buddy.
Way less than a month, sorry. Soon, we are heading to Miami for a very special event that is near and dear to this man's heart. I am going there for the very first time. We will be doing this show there. And this episode, Gabe, is kind of like a prep for that event because I've got questions.
Yeah.
You have answers. You also may have questions as well. I love this opportunity, and I'm so grateful. Will you tell people what Scope is?
Yeah, so Scope Art Miami is an art fair that takes place, well, it used to take place also in New York, but it only takes place now in Miami every year, early December, as a part of a sort of larger umbrella that folks call either Miami Art Week or Miami Art Basel Week or Miami Art Basel, although there's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstandings when folks use the term Miami Basel Week or Miami Art Basel because Art Basel itself is also a major art fair that happens down there. So, and in a way, really there's no question that Art Basel itself is the main fair that happens. It's, predominantly galleries that cater to the 5% and 1% of the population.
And that's happening at the same time.
Correct.
There's
numerous.
Like Scope it happens within the greater Art Basel?
Folks sometimes just use that as an umbrella term, Art Basel. The safest way to kind of like describe everything is Miami Art Week. Because all over the city for, from Tuesday until Sunday's over, there are multiple art fairs, art shows, activations, murals. It's just like, it's fucking WrestleMania for art, dude. It's just to the hinge.
So this would be like, it's like if someone were coming to New Orleans during Mardi Gras, but they're specifically going to attend the Endymion Ball, they would say, I'm coming to Mardi Gras. They wouldn't say, I'm just going to the Endymion Ball.
Correct.
This is the same thing.
Correct. Very, very good comparison.
That's how my brain works, by the way. My brain is always like, what is this like? In ways that I think are helpful and maybe a little unhelpful. I just always think that
because folks at home, they're like, don't know anything about Mardi Gras or Art Basel.
But honestly, to be real, I've heard of Art Basel before, and I had not heard of Scope. But also, I'm new to this universe. So, but now I'm like, oh, this is a big this. I mean, I knew it was a big deal because listening to you and feeling your energy and things that I've read up on it. But I did not realize how big of a deal it was until this moment right now because Art Basel is huge.
It's a little over 100,000 folks in like 5 days that are going to roll through. But, its Scope is one of, I would say, I mean, when I say that there are multiple fairs, in my brain there are 4 or 5 major fairs and then a bunch of satellite fairs and satellite shows. If you're a fan of graffiti and mural art as well, it's the main bag for that too every year because I wouldn't say that like every major graffiti artist across the country and the world show up there, but they all, if they're not there, they're definitely thinking about it or trying to come there. So it's at once like, you know, a lot of things for a lot of tiers and a lot of aspects of the art world, but it's also really huge for graffiti and muralists as well. Yeah.
So I want to know. So I'm the voice of the audience here, okay?
Sure.
Because you know way more about this than me, than anyone watching this right now. So how would you describe your presence in Miami for Scope as someone who owns a gallery, who's so entrenched in the art world and is a leader in the art world? Like, what are you doing there?
This is the 9th year physically that I've curated at Scope. The first year I curated for Jonathan Levine, was a renowned dealer at that time. Then I curated for the gallery that I worked for, Red Truck, for a few years in a row there. And then Mortal, this is our 5th year physically, 6th year, because 2020 they did everything virtually. It wasn't open in 2020. For me, it's just been this like growth in terms of first learning how to actually negotiate a show like this, because there are a lot of moving parts to it besides just, you know, talking to people and selling art. There's so much that goes into, first of all, the production and preparing for it. And you'll see too, in terms of just the execution of the installation, there's a lot of levels to it. But for me, it's an important place for us to, first of all, continue to kind of like make it obvious that we are a voice when it comes to certain genres such as lowbrow, pop surrealism, visionary art, street art, things that would fall under this like broad umbrella that people call new contemporary. It's a place, I look at it as like a state of union for the gallery as well, where we're kind of like, oh, these are some of the highlights of things that we accomplished and did this year. Here's a little bit of a preview of some things we're going to be leaning into in the following year as well. But then there's a really, really super heavy competitive level to it as well, also, besides just the networking and the sort of like presence. And that's one of the things that really drives me the most, is this is the time that I get to, like, in one venue or even in one show, compete with my peers and to compete with spaces that have way more resources than us. But when we're under the same umbrella, we're actually able to. There hasn't been a year where we haven't been in the top third of the booths that are there in terms of sales, and I would argue that we're almost always in the top 3 or 5 booths overall for the last few years there.
So there's going to be a Mortal Machine booth.
Yep.
There's also going to be where art is being sold.
Yep. So we have a 300 square foot booth, which is a decent sized booth. You'll see that it opens up on either side to aisles on either side. You'll see it's a pretty nice sized booth. And then one of the things that I've run into trouble with over the years with these art fairs is they have very strict rules about how much art you can hang and the distance between them. You know, and I specialize in maximalism and salon style hanging, and that makes it a little difficult. So what we ended up figuring out last year for the first time was I create a room that's inside of the booth that you have to walk into the booth, and when you walk into the booth and you see the room, it's floor to ceiling art, so it's a salon. So it's called the salon room. So
in salon style means what exactly?
Salon style means like maximalist, highly dense, a lot of different types of art, a lot of different sizes and scales and price points, but it's going to have a balance to it. So I'm going to have about 40 artists. I don't know how many fucking pieces, bro. We're already up. I think we're going to be well over 200 pieces of art that we'll be installing in that booth.
Now,
yeah.
Do you know right now, back here at Lafitte's, do you know what the layout is of the art, or does that happen when we get there?
I never know the layout for the salon.
Okay.
Because it's something I just know how to do automatically. It's
Love
something
that.
I can't teach anybody.
Man, when anyone who works in art who knows their shit so well that they're like, I'm going to solve this complicated problem on the fly in the moment when I get there, is so badass. I mean, I feel that way about a lot of things that I do comedy-wise, but that is so cool. It's so cool.
I'm grateful that I can, because otherwise I'd probably have an aneurysm. I mean, I already know what's going on with the outer walls. So the way that the booth's kind of constructed is, you know, we're going to be featuring Shepard Fairey, and we're going to be featuring Mab Graves. And on one side of our booth, there's going to be Shepard's work, and then we have this salon that's on this sort of connecting wall of Shepard's wood pieces. And then on the opposite side of the booth, that'll be Mab's presentation. Then in the center is the salon room that you walk inside of. I know everything that's going on with the outer pieces. Like, that's super easy solve. The inside, it's not like I know exactly where everything is going, but I do have a general sense of groupings, meaning like, oh, these artists and these artists are going to associate well together. I also make sure to have a healthy balance of large-scale pieces, medium-sized pieces, and small pieces so that we can fill things really well. Last year was the first year they ever gave me permission to just like totally go crazy like this, and I didn't believe them until I showed up. And then they're like, yeah, no, seriously, go floor to ceiling. And so honestly, I was kind of caught off guard. I was really happy with the way the salon room went last year, but now that they're like, no, go hog wild, this is the first year where it's like, okay, I actually planned for the floor to ceiling this year. So it's going to be a lot of art, but the hopes is that you have a lot of price points, a lot of accessibility and sizes, and hopefully we have to make a lot of money because it's super, super expensive to do the show.
Yeah, so who's going to Scope? What kind of people show up there?
It's a big mix. There'll be, on VIP night, we'll see a lot of like more serious collectors, museums, institutions.
There's a VIP only night?
Tuesday, correct. Yeah.
Okay, wait, that's the first day?
Correct, yeah. We start at noon.
Oh, I guess that makes sense because you get first dibs.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, so VIPs might roll in here and just be like, I want everything right here.
It does happen sometimes on VIP. You do have some sales that work. I work the show in multiple waves. Like, I'm going to be working pre-sales. I have like 2-3 waves of pre-sales before I even show up, and then while we're setting up, we'll be doing pre-sales as well. Actually, we're going to be working Black Friday, Cyber Monday, so I'll be doing pre-sales outside of my website because you're not going to get a discount on my Miami collection. And then Tuesday, when everything opens up to VIP, things will drop on our website to the public as well. I've kind of figured out this strategy for Miami that there's like 5 or 6 different sales waves from before you leave until the show's over. So I have strategies for approaching each of those waves. And this year I'm going psychotically way deeper into the strategy of approaching these things digitally. Yeah.
And why is that? Is that because
I'm using
you have...
ChatGPT?
Okay.
What I've done is I've taken every single collector that I have sold to. We've got them, of course, categorized with the artists that they purchased, when they purchased, how much they've purchased. Everything's being, analyzed. And so we're going to actually break down out of this analysis, targeting people. And there are different ways that you can target them, whether it be artists of interest that we already have that we know they're going to be wanting to see, to types of work that they collect. Like, let's say the folks that we had with Shepard, well, maybe they might not want to buy Shepard, but we might have some crossover products for them. So there's multiple ways to look at this analysis, and the AI is being incredibly helpful in terms of categorizing that and giving me constructs and suggestions to consider for that.
Okay, this is all so cool. I mean, I'm even more excited about this opportunity to go with you. But I still have a question about how does the art get from okay, artist makes art, you're selling art you're selling art all the time, but at Scope specifically, what's the journey from A to Z here? Like how is the art getting to you, and how are you deciding what to get, and yeah, what is that like?
Yeah, the logistics is one of the obvious. There's multiple challenges that go into this. Logistics is a big part of it, and so it varies. But for the most case, if you're an artist that's showing in our booth that's not Shepard Fairey, then or not a part of our special projects like Dan Witt's, then you're responsible for getting your work to us by a certain date, which, as you know, we're leaving Thanksgiving. So I need to have all the work.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, sorry, gang. We're
leaving Thanksgiving morning to drive to Miami.
I ruined Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah. I will be wearing a turkey costume, driving 85 down I-10.
High out of my mind to make sure I'm not riddled with anxiety.
You're going to be high? Okay, I'm driving the whole time.
All right. You are. I don't even have a driver's license. I've got a state ID. I don't think I've driven a car in 8 years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
legally.
Yeah. I just learned that about him. The same time as all you.
Yeah, welcome to Mortal Machine. So, yeah, so everyone has to have their work at the space by a certain date. We also, of course, want all their images, all their details, because I'm also constructing a digital catalog at the same time. And, yeah, man, we load it all in the truck, drive that sucker down there. We're going to have a 9 a.m. Saturday dock time. So we got to be at the dock on South Beach 9 a.m. Saturday.
Now, am I the one backing this big thing up?
You're going to see it's going to be really easy. We're going to actually...
I love that, by the way. I'm a big fan of backing up.
You are, but trust me, there's going to be tons of people
No, hold on. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Steve just winced at me. No,
I missed that.
No, I like fitting into tight spaces is what I meant to say.
Okay.
Steve, that's not what I meant. No, I like...
You're ready for Miami.
All right.
So, yeah, so we get actually a police escort onto the beach. So we wait. You'll be a line of people. Police escort will come. We're going to follow them onto the beach. We're going to drive onto the beach. And then we'll pull up to the dock. And then there's going to be a ton of dock workers, and I'm going to bribe them with contraband and merch for their loyalty. And they're going to help us unload our van and get everything to the booth. And then
you are like, this
on.
here, this here. Are we
Something
like
like
hanging
that.
stuff?
Yeah, the first day we're going to be unpacking mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's a lot to unpack. Organizing the packing material, because we obviously are going to need to reuse it and stuff like that.
The logistics of art is so fascinating to me, and I imagine most artists don't want to deal with it, and that's why it's special when you have somebody like yourself who can combine like master of the art, or at least deeply talented and consumed by the work of it,
yeah,
while also being deeply skilled at the logistics.
It's just all this learning has come through years and years of pain and stress and doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I get really excited now about all this. I mean, you can't tell right now because I'm a little tired, but dude, when I'm going to be a nightmare, just because I'm going to be so excited.
I love it, dude. I'm a great receiver of others' enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do really well on this trip.
We're going to see, babe. The art world's in a very unique space right now, so this is an interesting time for us.
Yeah, what does that mean exactly?
The art world's burning. I'm seeing a lot of. We luckily have avoided this. When I say what I'm about to say, this does not apply to Mortal Machine. But we're, as always, right from our reception, we have always been a very unique space and a very unique business. Even using that term cracks me up these days. So, we have managed to defy market trends this year. But we're a much smaller operation than a lot of the places from LA. Their overheads are ridiculous. They feel like they have to have these gigantic spaces that they could park multiple fucking UFOs in, and I don't really understand it. And same thing with New York. New York has insane overheads too. Now, our space is expensive for New Orleans. It's overpriced for New Orleans. But when we're considering the spaces that we're going up against that are from other countries and things like that, they're spending a lot more money. But they're also like catering to a specific kind of like the kind of art that they're sort of selling is much more nebulous. We have a very specific area of focus, and we're experts at that. And luckily, the audiences that are interested and engaged in the work that we represent is pretty broad and usually pretty enthusiastic. We're not selling boring bullshit, like, luckily, which is, that too. So I would say that the best term I would use for what's going on with the art world right now and the art fairs is a culling is the best way to describe it.
A culling.
Yeah. There's too many galleries, too many artists, too much.
So would you say that like running a gallery, 'cause I have similar thoughts in the comedy world, which can be a separate episode, but are you saying that running a gallery has been too accessible or too doable for too many people?
There's too many people with money that have been doing them as money laundering operations. There's too many people that have been doing it as insurance scams. There's too much vanity.
Doing it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Or the right reasons to make money. But
I think making money's fine. I like the idea of making a lot of money, but I think you need to do it well, and you have to actually care about it and have a point of view. But I think what it is you have a ton of people that have put out really non-thought out programs, or mostly what they're doing is they're stealing from other programs which is the most blue chip thing to do, is just sort of watch what galleries like me or galleries are just a little bit above me are doing, and when they see something they can convert into one of their own, toys in the attic, then that's what they do. But that whole formula of the blue chips, flipping really young artists and like quadrupling their market values has totally backfired against them. They did it. It's almost like the housing crisis. They really just like flooded this market with too many people that were priced way too ridiculously. I think that's one of the biggest criticisms I have of the art world that I'm going to always say over and over again is it doesn't consider 90% of the population, which I love because that's all those people have money. They just aren't going to buy your trash over $50,000, $100,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. That's why at Mortal Machine, you have art for sale. Not everything is 4 or 5 figures. You have a lot of things that are.
I'm not interested in selling to the 5 or 1%. I'm not targeting them. I'm not even targeting the 10%ers. I'm not targeting the boomers. I'm not even really hardly targeting the Gen X collectors.
Yeah.
Because they've already bought art. If they want to buy from me, and because they've heard of me or they think what I'm doing is great or they want to support the gallery, we welcome them. But I'm interested in millennials. I'm interested in Gen Z collectors. I'm interested in people that have never gone into an art gallery to have a feeling like, oh shit, this was a really cool experience. I'm going to buy this zine. I'm going to buy this print. And when I say like it's a McDonald's formula, I don't mean that I want to like put out a generic product. What I mean is I want to serve billions and billions of people.
Yeah.
And the art world has ignored that completely. And they're so boring too. That's the other thing too. So it's really, they made it easy for those of us that are good at this stuff.
And some of what you just talked about is what we covered briefly on the previous episode. Check back archives for that. We talked a lot about your mission to turn younger people into collectors, into buyers, which is also so cool, so fascinating. But the art world is burning right now.
Absolutely.
And we're going to a gigantic
We
art
are running
week.
towards the explosion.
We're running towards the explosion.
Yes.
To reference another episode that we've done in the past, as we build our universe out, which is so cool. Thank you all for watching. We talked a lot about professional wrestling.
Yeah.
And the graphic that you put out on the Mortal Machine Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
The if Mortal loses, we riot.
Yeah.
Just a reference to a CM Punk John Cena storyline from about a decade plus ago.
I feel like the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
Like I feel, even though we're not having the match in our hometown, Miami loves us. And you'll see. And, our bar that we go to there, Max Club Deuce, loves us. There's an aspect of the art world that loves us. This show loves us. Because we're one of the, no disrespect to the rest of the galleries, and I really don't care if they're offended by this because it's an absolute truth. Like, we bring energy. And we have consecutively year after year after year. And honestly, I don't feel any, like, the pressure that I feel about this isn't about whether or not we are going to survive. Because honestly, like, the first year of Mortal Machine there was way freakier for us because we were still involved in a very difficult legal situation. They had our enemies at that time actually had a newspaper article published about us in the Miami New Times to try and character assassinate us right at the time of the show, and we were known as the supposed like gallery employees that had allegedly robbed their former employer to open up their own gallery, and were now being featured in Miami. And we ended up actually that year being the biggest thing that at the fair because we had 2 giant booths and I think I curated 5 special projects that year. It's like the fair owner just leaned into it and was like, well, fuck it, if they're the controversy, let's give them all the heat. And we
Eric
really,
Bischoff, controversy creates cash.
But we were like, I was, bro, I'm literally blacked out. I vaguely remember a few things from that year. I remember one artist being loaded on ketamine, and I remember another artist threatening to like murder me, and like it was all over the place that year. Yeah, for me. Yeah.
Mom and Dad, I'm gonna be safe in Miami.
No, you're good now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Mortal loses, we riot. Referencing the if CM Punk loses, we riot, which to me was a moment in popular culture where a bunch of wrestling fans who were also, just for lack of a better word, like alternative punks, whatever, just like if our guy loses this match, we're all going to be upset. So you are using that terminology for us going to
Absolutely,
Scope.
yeah. Because I feel like
talk
for
a little
New
bit more
Orleans,
about that.
Well, it's. I feel like there's a special moment in time for us right now. I feel like there's an aspect of the city that's behind us. I feel like there are a number of artists that have been with me for a ton of years now, well, a lot of years now, that have seen this entire story through, that know it all very well. They know how hard we've worked to get to this point. I feel like this is a threshold for us that if we perform strongly and continue to maintain our strong performance down there, it says a lot about a lot of things at once, especially about us. And I also feel like that lowbrow and pop surrealism, a number of these artists like that are in our show right now or are part of that kind of like, house and those sort of like umbrellas, I feel like we're a potential light right now that people believe has a possibility to actually go beyond what we're doing right now and be a space that can care for artists and care for these genres, not just because we sell, but because I understand the genre, I understand the lineage, I care about it, I love this to no end, so I think that it's with the art world also in this like retraction. A lot of our artists that have worked with us this year, I think, have been incredibly grateful because we're one of the few spaces that actually sells right now, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really worry right now about a lot of things, because it's like, well, if you're unhappy with me, go somewhere else where someone's selling, because there is fucking nobody else really selling right now. There's only a few other spaces that I know of, and they're probably barely covering their nut or making it up, because I hear through everybody, like whatever front someone's putting on through their social media or their websites, I hear everything. So I know whether spaces are performing or not, and I know what we're doing, and we're not like fucking multimillionaires yet, but Jesus Christ, for a 900 square foot space, we've definitely come a long way. So for me, it's like I want this year to be a year that I walk away not just breaking even. I want to feel like we broke a foot in someone's ass this year.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So, yeah, I'm stoked to be a part of this. I'm going to be wide-eyed the entire time. I'm going to be a good listener. I'm going to be a sponge.
It's going to be fun, bro.
I'm going to work my ass off for you. I'm so stoked to be there. As we close out this episode, can you just tell me, like just summarize in like one or two sentences for me, like what do I need, like what do I need to do to be prepared for Scope in Miami?
Well, I don't have to worry about you having a drug problem. That's
you heard that, Mom and Dad? It's true.
Because otherwise, every other guys I've worked with in the past, it's like as soon as we get there, they're smoking crack or like seriously, they just go unhinged, bro. Miami makes them unhinged, like Mardi Gras. Like sure. You know how people around here when it's Mardi Gras time, you could be dating somebody and like, well, you may see me, you may not, and then you see them and it's like they're stuffing drugs up their butt and giving somebody a BJ and the back of fucking our bar or something. You're like, all right, I'll catch you when Mardi Gras is over, I guess. But it's that whole energy that just like takes over people, and you see people really come unhinged down there. So I don't really have to worry about that with my team. Y'all are really good folks about that. I don't know. I think the best thing you can do is just try to be ready to have your social battery completely depleted by the end of it, because there's going to be a lot of conversation. You're going to meet so many people, man. It's totally crazy.
Well, I'm excited about that because I do feel like my experiences over the years with comedy festivals and I show up for the main event. I protect my energy on a regular basis throughout my regular life, but when it's time to go, I'm unafraid and I'm ready to go big.
I mean, I think you guys are going to actually have a really good time because luckily I already kind of have done this enough times now to know how to at least lay things out so that we can minimize any kind of like unforeseen bullshit.
Yeah.
We've got a decent space. I know where we need to stay. If you guys want to go to parties and openings, rad, but I never fucking do anymore. I just go to Max Club Deuce every night because the whole art world shows up there the whole week. So I can do just as much networking without having to go anywhere. And I go to my favorite bar outside of the R Bar. That's like my home away from home is Max Club Deuce. I love that bar to no end. And I know that they know us. They love us there too. So we get treated incredibly well there. So, it's going to be Saturday night. There's going to be fucking billionaires waiting to get outside. They're going to let us in without any question, without a line, which I love that too. That's one of the things I love about the art world is the true power of the art world is actually exposed in Miami, and it has nothing to do with your money. it has to do with relationships.
Love that. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Me too, man.
Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me while I learn about this from Gabe.
Well, we're going to be riding down in the truck. I think we should do an episode in the truck.
Yeah, well, y'all get ready for a lot more content from us. We're going to be in the truck.
It's going to be obnoxious.
Thanksgiving. We're staying somewhere. I mean, we're sleeping somewhere like Tallahassee
We'll
or whatever,
yeah, we'll
Thursday night, whatever.
Yep.
So much content to come from Miami, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Content from Max Club Dues, content from the booth, probably. Like, you're going to see a lot of stuff happening.
We got a couple episodes in between now and then, too. We got one more show at Mortal that we'll be installing in a couple weeks with Dan Witz, Casey Weldon, and Amy Soul. So we'll probably get a little bit of stuff out of them. And maybe another buddy of mine is coming next week. So we will have a few episodes before we leave. But, bro, we're going to get a shit ton of content out of Miami. Yeah.
So excited. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, share this with a friend as we continue to grow this podcast. Shout out to producer Steve behind that camera right there. That's Gabe from Mortal Machine on Royal Street. My name is Chris True. I MC.
Rhea Ripley now.
Say what? Oh, there you go.
Doing the Rhea Ripley.
Catch me emceeing the Open Mic from Hell on Sunday nights at Toulouse Theater. If you're in town, I'd love to catch you there. And Gabe, I can't wait to report for duty.
Yeah, let's fucking go, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.